No, she would then turn around and then reaffirm what he's saying.
You know, flagrant, yeah.
On flagrant.
That's
He would
after
say,
they done put in the room and say, hey, damage control, show up. You think that girl ain't come there at gunpoint?
anyway, we talking about what? Akash?
That is what we're supposed to be talking about today. As me making my second blunt, don't get comfortable.
That's his second? But dog, I don't know how you was, dude.
I want you to know I smoke all day, every day, Fred. If I don't smoke, when I didn't, let me tell you something. If you was following me my Twitter days, Fred, when I used to be crashing out, it's always before I done smoke for the day. Every time I get upset and every time I trip out, I telling you, and it is be so shameful too because I bug right out, and then I'll smoke a blunt and be like, "Mother sick, Fred." I probably shouldn't even have said nothing for Trey. They probably ain't even, you know what I mean? Now that I look at it, I don't even know if they trying to be slick. Like I think this is the problem. Like, dog, I irritable bad, and I don't like authority. So it's like sometimes you feel like niggas talking to you like they run you. Hold on. If I ain't smoke, but if you know this, you can't think of the last time I crashed out. Man, I don't talk to me. Think about it. When was the last time you seen a community post for me talking about I don't like people?
I just get it. I just hear about it. So I don't be on.
It doesn't happen. There's nothing.
What I mean is, people is if you would have crashed out, they would bring it to me. So like my Discord would have told me, they'd have been on like, hey, is Olay okay? I said, oh fuck, what's going on? And then like that's how I find out. Like when you was ill that time, that's how I didn't know. Like
because
they is come like people has come to me like I talking, wait, I say that's sis. Everything cool. I just say, yeah. I say, oh yeah. So they be talking about you in there anyway. So they gonna say, hey, foreign, have you checked on Olay? I said, what happened? Oh no, she in the hospital. I say, boy, what the fuck going on? I say, but like if you crash out. And like if I get 3 messages about you, then I say, let me check and see what's going on. I said, I ain't getting none of them in a minute, though. I
am honestly, if I'm proudest about myself, but none is I was not expressing going to the internet with my feelings at all this year. Nobody could them. The last time I cussed the internet out was the election. Like I'm like, y'all ain't heard nothing from me.
I should be the last time. I
meant it. I said, you know what? I meant it when I said I wasn't engaging with the internet in a particular way. No more, like, because it just don't serve me. And I'm honestly too. I think at this point, like, I tell you, I missing delete my Twitter.
You missing deleted?
By accident.
I got because
I done stop using it. I had stopped using it from so long before I deactivated it. Yeah. So if you don't deactivate it, reactivate it, but in like 28 days or something, they just get delete.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the policy. And so by the time I didn't remember till Rebecca bring it up to me, I'm telling you, it was what I forget. Like it ain't even like a quickly, like I forget code for that long. And then by the time I see it was deleted, and I just was like, well,
it's kind of symbolic, yeah. Like that's just
honestly,
like a chapter.
I thought about it. I was like, this probably God looking out for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it feel wild because it's like, oh, that's the first big platform I built, and I had like 150,000 plus, followers on there. But realistically, I was like, God probably do this for like that. You know what I mean? I was like, this is probably for a reason. And like, quite frankly, I'm like, Twitter isn't what it used to be anymore. Like, I don't think it has the like, professional. Twitter had not got me an opportunity in a million years. Like, I was like, this is probably Twitter to me serves as a place that like, once you a certain amount of big on the internet, Twitter is not your friend. And I think like they're there to try to bait you into fucking, like, they look at Twitter as a place that's trying to create quote tweets and drama and yada, 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 yada. They trying to bait you into like trick. I feel like Twitter trying to trick you at just spot, dog. Like you can get upset and go on there and you row about things. Like, think about every time you see some celebrity and controversy. Like, imagine if Roy Twitter had accidentally deleted before.
I mean, Tyler the Creator, like that's how they get him. Like you could just go right back and find niggas them. I know my old Twitter. But dog, if they define that, ain't no way. I say just pocket up for your boy. Because I mean, I have a very low digital footprint. So oftentimes, like when niggas, if would make a hit piece about me, I check to see, I go and say, when they would find out. And then they'd be like, oh, his accent is fake. I just like, oh, they ain't got nothing. I say, I really find that I good. Niggas have skeletons in their closet.
Exactly. And I'm like, realistically, I thought about it. I was like, this is probably God getting you off this before there's like, before you ever are a size, the thing when they're spending all their time trying to look for some da-da-da-da-da-da. And I think about all the time that created drama on Twitter. They taking some tweeting intentionally, taking it out of context. They doing whatever. I was like, that's fine. And that don't pay you. Twitter don't pay you no money. And it don't do nothing for my Twitter's not a place like I don't promote on your Twitter. Don't push out your shit. You know what I mean? Like, Twitter helping my YouTube views ain't coming from Twitter.
Exactly.
So it's like, whatever. Okay. But yes. Okay. I like how we had to talk for 45 minutes of all we're talking.
My God, but I mean, like, you might as well just bring back the interview series one time.
Listen. Okay. I saw, let me tell you what I know. What I know and what I don't know.
All right.
So I know he's from Flagrant, but I've never watched Flagrant a day in my life. I know Alex, the guy who called a random black NPC character. His name is Alex.
He's a person?
Yes, he's like a part of that. I'm pretty sure he's like a producer or something. I know him. And he also co-owns a studio with Wheezy from Horrible Decisions in New York City. So that's who that is. So
he looked like the Jamaican boy from iCarly. That's
you
why.
Wish.
And I mean him giggling up, kicking his feet, buckle over, laughing when Schultz and them were shucking and jiving with what it called the British budget budgeting boy.
Shits and Gigs
and Fuad.
I hate that they do them. Lord, Shits and Gigs really had a bad run with that.
But that's where I first saw Akash on there giggling up with Mustache Mussolini, Andrew Schultz, talking about black women. So I already was into this space when this happened. Saying? So Akash, I mean, right there, Akash is basically diet red pill. What I brand Akash is the type of guy that won't necessarily overtly say something misogynist. So he's not a fresh and fit. But what I think like a lot of people ain't necessarily have the scruples for to notice is like the dog whistles that every day that basically equate to everyday violence and misogyny. So you will have someone like Akash that will clap back at a fresh and fit, which is one of the ways in which he got on Myron's radar. And Myron was the one that ultimately would call his wife everything but a child of God, call Akash's wife everything but a child of God, and throw a whole compilation with terrible over editing and, showcasing how she was a bad gal and whatnot. But Akash would say things to the effect of, he very much loves whiteness. A lot of his bits are aggrandizing whiteness. Like he has a bit in his comedy special where he talks about, of course he's making light of it, but like he's talking about white men should be able to give their opinions. And the reason why we have the political climate that we have now is because white men don't have the privilege to have their opinions. You want to talk about white privilege don't exist because white men get clapped back at for having their opinions. It's a multitude of things like that.
Oh, he's okay. See, a cuck for white supremacy upset me. A regular cuck, I'm like, oh, I all on his head.
Like, it's difficult. So in regards to like the situation specifically, Akash very much uses his wife Jasleen as a epilogue. You know, he uses her as a trophy.
Yeah.
Is a gorgeous Indian woman of which he met when she was in her early 20s. He was in his early 30s, and he married her, and he would shop her around like how you shop around any type of deal, right? He basically said, oh, my wife was a virgin when we met. We were both virgins. I was safe and I was waiting for her. And he has a long digital footprint of aggrandizing the fact that she is a virgin, which is just weird to me in general.
That's what I needed you to explain it to me, because I kept seeing it like where I was seeing it, the kind of people who are covering like this drama or whatever generally. It's so interesting to be disliked by the entire internet, but for different reasons. So it depending on who you're watching, it's hard to understand, because I'm seeing it from like the Redpill adjacent, you know what I mean? Like the misogynist adjacent, misogynist light who are like, oh my God, he's a simp, he's a cuck, he's blah, 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 blah. And they like showing it like, oh, this is so lit because he dunked on Fresh and Fit. But when they showing this clip of him dunking, I'm like, he's absolutely 1000% right. He ain't said one fucking thing wrong in what he said to Fresh and Fit. So if that's the reason I supposed to be so like hype up that his gal embarrassing him or whatever, his gal ain't who she say she, whatever, then I don't care. But then I went and I saw on Foreign Fridays and I saw in the comments and they were like, oh, he's be talking shit about black women. He's be this, and next things. I was like, oh, okay. Then that's different, I suppose.
It even beyond, because I mean, first off, you definitely don't make no jokes about black women. And I find that oftentimes he's just a soundboard for Andrew Schultz to riff off of, like in a comedy dynamic. But you so right insofar as just like the majority of the coverage on this is just red pill. So I know I was in enemy territory. I was like the Simpsons meme, I'm in danger right now. Because I know if I could talk about this, I could get a lot of red pill people, which is exactly what I did. And that's why Foreign Fridays exist to an extent, because I want those videos to be juxtaposed next to the red pill slops, next to, you know, your fresh and fit videos, or all of the, like the red pill light, which a lot of people don't like to talk about. People like Abba and preaching them. You know, people
Abba and Preach are, I wanna expose myself as Abba and Preach are certifiably red pill light, but I watch their occasional video like when they talk and I enjoy it, and it's like I like these. Did you see their song the other day? Like the song.
I see no one.
Okay. No.
No, man.
No, it's so good. No, it's so good.
I know they was making music.
Dunk it on Fresh and Fit, man. Look here.
Yeah, they've been going back at it. It's red on red violence at this point. Like,
oh no, the song's so good. Hold on, I gotta find this. This is here. This must be there.
Fresh and Fit and Abba and Preach been at it for like a little while now, and it's actually entertaining because they just basically cannibalizing themselves. And I just like, you know what? I can sit back and just watch this.
I'm about to show you this. Hold on, I can show you this, because when I tell you I love this,
I didn't even know that they had that. Abba and Preach. I'm glad that like when I brought up the fact that they are red pill light or red pill adjacent, people was on my ass like Pampas.
Oh, people don't know that. I feel like, okay, so that's how I feel about that.
People don't know it.
I feel like how they come across to me is like they see the grift and you know what I mean, of the like real like manosphere and the red pill, and they calling them out, and I think they do it in a valuable way, and that coming from them will be better received than coming from like us. So I'm like, go on ahead. But I never get the impression of like, they come off to me like regular problematic I would really I'd really like in real life.
Yeah, like your brethrens them that you have to deal with that like ain't necessarily full on incel misogynist, right? But like you're just like, damn, like, you know, you keep doing that thing and you need to
I think, and what it is too, like the people, if Abba and Preach have haters that in our comments or who know the law, please tell me what problematic things about them I'm missing out on, because I recognize that I only have selectively watched. I watch specifically when they talking shit on Fresh and Fit, when they talking shit on Pearly Things, when they talking shit on Red Pill. So they're extremely likable and correct when I watching them.
Watch
I don't
anything
watch them.
They say about trans folk. Watch anything like that. Watch anything
see there
about
you go.
Black women. I mean, like specifically about women to an extent, but they've gotten better, I will say. Like they have gotten less. I think that at a particular point in their visibility, they were just like, you know what, we a brand risk for ourselves, and they cleaned up a lot. And they just might be maturing, and that's good. But they will continually miss when it comes to trans topics.
Oh, I've never heard them talk about trans people, but that don't shock me none at all. That don't shock me. You hold on, let me show you some heat, boy.
Oh my God. I did not hear him say that, dog. Oh my God.
Unfortunately, I have to I don't know why the original is off YouTube now, so I have to use this reaction nigga video. So let me just get past this, ignore him. He should stop talking soon.
When the did he say that? Yo, you know what type of energy that's given? I'm gonna show y'all.
Oh my God, no. I wants to see what you're showing people. Okay.
Preach, would you agree with the sentiment? No women.
No women.
Yeah.
He like making fun of the minister, the monastery in the hidden room.
I remember the ferry boat party. I did.
Now you're coming on the best song ever. You want to play it right now? I want everyone to the dance floor. No women. No women. No women.
Why this man so greasy?
Yo. This man is never beating the allegations. I agree.
Oh, so you got a girl now. You changed, made something movement.
That's how it is.
All day. Spend time with your girl. That's gay. No, I don't want no women, no.
Hey.
No, I don't want no women.
Thank you all so much.
No, I don't want your cuddles, no.
Oh, with the boys.
I'd rather sleep with the boys. No, I don't want to meet girls, no.
Bruh, this a bop.
I'm gonna make this.
Wait. That nigga got too much time, wait, dog.
So you waiting for the dance break? This eat so hard.
Rubbing on their thighs is insane. What the
Nigga,
is
hurry
going
up.
on? Oh.
Hey.
That's the retro. If you feel at home with your mom, oh yes, bro.
Wait.
I'm talking to you. If you're broken, hate these women. Yes, bro. I'm talking to you.
God, bro.
Wait, dog, ain't no
If you're
way.
ready to find your virgin, oh,
He carrying on like R. Kelly right now.
with no expertise, don't know.
You
Hey,
wait, dance break for it.
Wait, hold up.
I gotta show you the dance break, man. They
off.
can't even get it
It's
started
still
yet.
up on the internet, but why did they remember to do this?
I ain't gonna lie, this is a little hard. I ain't gonna lie, this hard, but if a baby make a song like this about me,
I gotta show you the dance break. What we doing?
It's bad.
It eats so bad.
It's so
like
funny, actually, because
let me show you mine. I don't care about this nigga.
I'm tired.
Look, that's more than like it ain't even getting started. It goes so hard. Watch right now.
this is a club
Write
mix.
it down, but it's not. It's about that new dance break.
I ain't gonna lie, this hard. Wait, the fact that they put this clip in here is killing me, though.
Listen, so good.
dog.
And you think
This
it's done?
man
You think
made
it's winding down? It's
two
not. There's another
It's
dance.
gotta
break.
be AI, but this is hilarious.
I'm tired. I'm tired.
It's still going?
I don't understand how long I worked.
I'm wondering if the call and response is both him.
Yo, it's
Yeah, he hitting up for real.
It
though, I ain't
is.
gonna lie. But that's crazy.
all from my boy. You don't need no girls. Boy,
I want to know. See, now I got to go back and watch the stream because I'm like,
let me show you.
Ain't no way.
Hold on, I gotta show you. Hold on, because the next dance break you eat so bad. Hold on, I gotta show you this.
what? Like, what
I
made
swear,
him
we
make
can go
this
back to
song?
Akash in a second. But you have
Obviously,
to
I
see
know,
this.
but like, what was the
Wait,
catalyst?
that's the
you know?
most I ever watch I've been preaching.
Look at it.
Dog,
Yo.
this is TJ. This is fucking
How
hilarious.
about me spending the whole week making beats?
You
I ain't gonna lie, the fact that he made this.
Fucking go.
It's still going.
Y'all get it, preach.
You know what? I
Like,
forget
get this
sometimes
nigga
these
off
Negroes
my
can actually dance.
nigga, he's so bad.
They having far too much fun with this.
Bro, I'm telling you, if Abba and Priest threw a
Yeah.
party and they played this song,
This shit eats so bad. I'm sorry, you had to see that.
But I have that is the most I've been preached I've watched in quite some time. I mean, like luckily they getting a little bit better, but if one of my ops made a song like that, I'd have to pack up shop. I ain't gonna lie, that hard. But
That
like
hard.
him, like I've been preached, all the rest of them, like they the most people talking about Akash them. And as you said, I think there are progressive reasons as well as misogynistic red pill adjacent reasons as to not liking Akash. A lot of people teasing Akash just for being what they call yet again a simp.
Yeah.
My take on him is he's a benevolent sexist. So
I see what you is like. You like he performing this or whatever in exchange for some.
Exactly. Akash strikes me as a person because majorly he will pedestal his wife. He will laud his wife and assign her qualities of which are almost outside, like beyond the pale of being criticized. So he set her up to fail. He set her up to be one of the weapons used against him because he didn't have to go out in 4K talking to a bunch of white man with their hair slick back like Scatman critters.
There's no reason why he volunteered, why he had to be telling millions of people in the internet his wife was a virgin and all these different things. However, I will say this. Because I want you to know I'm so inclined to want to defend a woman, right? Like, I went into them videos, like, assuming, like, I was like, mother sick dread. God forbid a gal talk about, cause like when you see a first, like one little clip or something, it's like, I'm on your side, girl. Why they making a thing out of it?
Which clip you see first? No, allow me. Which clip you see first?
No, I know. No, I trust me. I know. I realize no. She's a problem.
No, she genuinely going.
I was watching it. I was like, okay, we've gone long past anything I can defend. Like this is just outright disrespecting the fuck out your husband. And like my thing is this too. This is the part I don't get. Why are you fucking with the financial structure of the home? Because at the end of the day, right? Like I swear to God, regardless, whatever reason he telling your business, like whatever, or he's putting this out there and the thing, that's obviously a part of his monetizable brand. Like the world and the environment that he's in. What the fuck are you on the internet for? Fucking up the main source of income, the brand, to this. Why have you exposed your husband to this criticism?
My take on it is, one, I genuinely think she don't like this nigga. Like straight up, like don't even need to make it more not simple than that. She does not like this boy. She going up in 4K with a gaggle of white man talking about, oh, my husband balls smell. Boom. And going in front. Yeah, she going talking about how like she is repulsed by the smell of her husband balls.
Where?
You know, on a podcast with a bunch of white man. That's what I trying to say. And the thing is, she could go.
What you mean? No, man. She said that. That's your behavior paraphrase. What she say?
Hold on, man. Let me go and say Jocelyn Singh husband balls. Man, come on, man. She make the joke about the boy balls. Akash balls stink. You got me searching out Akash balls stink. My God. Nah, me having to go find this. It's a whole. Let me put my vibe on and put it over here, because there's a whole bunch of where I can't find it because like it's on TikTok probably, and I have to look on this. Okay, here it is.
You turn up volume, unmute the TikTok when you find it.
Oh, it muted over there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, frick. I can't. That's because I can't play it on
But you find it, send a link to the chat right here and I'm about to play it.
All right, right here. Jocelyn Akash Balls.
Why this woman embarrassing his mom like this? Look how unhappy he looks. My thing is, if they were supposed to be doing like a bit like a damage control thing that she's in on, why isn't he like playing his role and not looking miserable on the chair?
Because they ain't playing a role. It's genuinely damage control and it's cope.
Right, that's why he need to be not like, if you need to be pretending like everything bless your wife wasn't saying she was like she top up and pussy me and dancing, not fucking, and all this different stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and you wanna like, oh, y'all don't have no problems. You can't be on the couch like that.
All start up. All suching up. Like literally on the brink of tears. Because again, he's the content. Like for Andrew Schultz all of them, they farmed content out of this man's misery, out of this man's humiliation. They were farming content. You had Andrew making a dramatized intervention sit down between what do you name Akash and Jocelyn, sitting down and essentially like hashing it out. And it's red bait. It's bait for the red pill people them, right? But the problem is that yet again, they levy in more misogyny towards Jocelyn. And while I agree, she definitely wrong for how she been doing the bait, at the same time, there's ways to criticize her without just resorting to the same misogyny that everybody else getting the piling on her for in the first place.
The internet is so weird because, like, the internet is so crazy because when you think about it, what this man and his wife have to do with us? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like when I felt like this, I feel this way about Ned Fulmer. Somebody as someone who was made some content off Ned Fulmer, mind you. But I just be like, dog.
We invested in the lives. Not only that, but they put it out there, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it gives you full reign to, hypothesize on the person's lives. But to a degree,
it shouldn't allow us to turn it into an event in their life, though. Like, I think that's the thing. It's like one thing if we talking about it, but the way like, Akash and them better address this. They better like, and supposed to come and explain why his wife is running.
But the thing is, they allow that. You could only have an intervention like that or allow the haters, quote unquote, to get to you if you allow that to happen. If they didn't want to engage with people claiming that she ran through and the contradictions between him thinking that she a virgin and then her saying things like, oh, well, I got a roster of white man at these frat parties and I was popping pee and I was the essay story is another thing, because there's one of the big parts of it is her joking about how she had a Tinder date and she invited the boy over and the boy slept over, but she didn't want to do anything sexual with him, and she woke up and her asshole was sore. And it's interesting just like the different takes about it, because I have the platform of believe survivors, but ultimately people, the conversation in itself is very dystopian when you just look around, and she's trying to clear up her assault on the most unempathetic podcast and medium for discussing her assault. She talking to Andrew Schultz. She talking to the black boy that you saw before and Diet Father John Misty, and then her husband right there giggling up over her talking about how she got assaulted. It's also like a dystopian take on just like the industry that we in general, where you can't have a serious, nuanced conversation in regards to something like that because of the fact that the premise has already doomed you from the start. Right. Like, you can't talk about your assault on a comedic podcast unless you expect them to be riffing off of your assault like it's the news of the day.
And yet, that's a husband podcast. So
and
you what is the thing that I want to say? Is she trying to have an internet career of her own? Is that what's going on? Like, why she's making this content, embarrassing her husband, exposing him?
I think because there's a couple of theories. So she has her own TikTok following, which I don't, not to besmirch the TikTok people them, but I think that TikTok is a plantation. I think that like the way in which you consume TikTok content, you don't go to TikTok saying, oh, I need to watch this new Jocelyn sing video. No, you go to TikTok to doom scroll, and Jocelyn might be just one couple seconds in your doom scrolling session. You go there for the session, you go there for the ritual, you don't go there for the person. So I think that they know that, and they're trying to legitimize her by putting her in front of a bigger audience with the Flagrant podcast. Only problem is the whole consortment of the Flagrant podcast is yet again making fun of women more time than not. Right. Andrew Schultz has established that he make fun of his own wife giving birth. He said, oh, you know what the basis of a push present is basically to reward something that women were supposed to do anyway, which is have birth. That's his wife. What you think he could do to you? What you think he could do to your? What you, Akash, think he could do to your wife? So even the dynamic of, okay, let's bring them on to make some content, even if you want to establish Jasleen in a manner of which people begin to like her, how does this make her any more likable? Who is going to follow Jasleen after this? If anything, they're making her a very loathsome character. And also, this kind of interpolates with like a bunch of different people. I got heat for the women then to do this, that think that they can build a career off of the bastardization of themselves. So anything that the Zeus Network puts out, anything, bodies or anything like that, thinking, okay, if I come on DDG's Are You My Ball, which is a dating show, if you think you would come onto these platforms and use that to leverage yourself into some sort of clout, you don't want that clout. Those are not your fans. They are hate watchers that will enjoy your misery.
But look who she learning like the game from. So let me shoot her. Let me shoot her some lie. Let me put on my defend women cap, right? Before we get into the many disrespectful things she's done that I can't defend. But let me give my general defense. I could see how this is a girl. I heard him say, I think she was like 21 when they got together, like when they got married, and this man was like 31, 30 something. That's a vast difference. 21 is a baby. And I can see at 21, I'm sure she feel very differently about how you end up really a million different things than however she feel present day. And I could see you at 21 years old ending up in a situation, some 30, some adult, some grown ass man you marry or whatever. And then he goes and builds, he has a particular career, he has a brand, he has a platform, and he goes and creates one based on some fucking like virginal imagery of you that you did not co-sign. And then now here you are as an adult wanting to be able to talk about your own life freely and whatever it is. And you are like, you can't talk about your own college memories or whatever the fuck, or you can't be a crass woman or build your own true internet persona without it being in contrast to what this put out. And who tell him do that? You know what I mean? Who tell him do that? And who knows, like, if this a gal, from what I get, from what I'm gathering and what I'm seeing, she don't seem like a gal who's hold her tongue or whatever. So she probably was in this house like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Why you doing that? And I can see her, she talked about, she said, I heard her say, I didn't watch the whole thing. I couldn't do it. I tried to, like the flagrant, I tried to, but I couldn't. But I heard her say in the beginning where she was like, she came from a really religious background. She said, like the Catholic, like really repressed, and then you go to college or whatever. So imagine you think you done break out from something, you bust out from something, and now you have your husband trying to appeal to the them on the internet, the manosphere, and he creating this he re-putting you in a package that you just, you telling about how you had to burst out of. He is like literally putting you back in religious, conservative shackles just in imagery. It ain't even true. You know what I mean? A narrative that he putting out, and it's like, so now she got to be married to a fucking fake narrative, or it come off as disrespect because he put out some bullshit out there. You know what I mean? So that's the blie I could give her, that I could see it. I would make one resentful, and I could see how one could one bust out from that. Because like, I remember I dated, I have a series on Olay Naughty Pop called 5 Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad, Super Raggedy Men that I made. It was funny. Just like, there's one big video, right? I wrote it years ago, like on like 5. I have it, I tell like, it's about like these 5 archetypes of men you will always date that I dated. So it's Raphael, the romantic terrorist, Phantom Paul, Pablo the psycho, lion ass Luke, and Aiden the Antichrist. So
You need to write scripted narrative.
And listen, and it's dead funny, it's dead entertaining. But I remember when I first wrote it, like years before, I decided to make it a video last year because I happened to stumble on it and was like, this was fire, but I wasn't a content creator at the time, so let me turn it into a video for Olay Naughty Pop. But I wrote it so long ago, and I remember when I wrote it, the boyfriend that I got around the time I was writing it was like complaining and talking shit, and I can like, it was like embarrassing to him as his girlfriend for me to write about my. I remember like, if you don't get the fuck out my face trying to ruin my writing and my creative, you know what I mean? Like trying to rein me in. I know I would see that. You know what I mean? Now, granted, we're doing entirely different things. I am turning something into a story. These people ain't really. There's a certain way that you do things. Like she's on. That ain't quite what she doing. She on TikTok talking whatever, but
she doesn't strike me as someone that is too strategic about the things or the brand that she's putting together. Insofar as just like she seems to be very much entrenched into the whole kind of beauty, femininity side of things, and she's an attractive woman, nice skin, those type of things. It looks like she's putting brand forward, and I genuinely think, to a degree to what you're saying, that she is a repressed traditional Sikh, because they're both Sikh, and they met when she was very young. He was a lot older, and he kind of basically dictated the way that her life was going to be before she had a chance to live it herself. Because at 21, you don't have as much autonomy as you do as 30 or whatever.
Right.
You know what? You couldn't ask me to really make much of my life decisions at 21. There's some empathy to be given to her, and I went into it like that. Yet again, I think that ultimately,
me too. Then too much clips. It was too much. I was seeing too much. I was like,
I was trying to figure out when it first came, when the first clip hit me, right, in the Twin Towers, right, when the first plane hit the Twin Towers, I was looking at it. It was basically her sitting down with her friend, and she talking to her friend saying, your
the friend husband, dad, fine.
Yeah, your husband dead fine. He gives me big dick energy. Your husband probably got 10 inches. His body on fire. His body flake. His face card never declines. I hate the way of which like people take AAV and take the lingo and just like bring it into these concepts, and it just sound gentrified. It sound like
sounds nuts. I did hear that.
They did that, and she's speaking to her friend about her husband, and then her husband as well is right there. And she don't care. Now she's trying to say that she's making the joke because, she's actually rather prudish and she don't ever, desire an orgy. How is this in what cases are these funny? I'm trying to figure out at what point is it funny to talk even, and nobody really cared about this because yet again, this is from a red pill perspective. So they didn't really care about the fact that like she telling her friend, who was a girl, that, I want to grind your man. And I think your man, dragging.
But she's like, I want to grind two of y'all. That's what she said.
She said she want to have a orgy, right? She ain't talk about her man. She ain't talk about what her man could do. And like, again, like as progressive as we are, we talking in cishet binaries and we talking about this. These ain't two people that down with swinging and things like that. Or at least they have not positioned themselves to be that. They have not said that, we swing around. No, they have positioned themselves as these very traditional Sikh arrangements,
He positioned them like that. He positioned them like that.
No, she would then turn around and then reaffirm what he's saying.
Flagrant, yeah.
On flagrant.
That's after they done fucking grip up her in the fucking room and say, hey, damage control, bitch. Show up. You think that girl ain't come there at gunpoint?
And if that's the case, then I mean, and yet again, this goes back to saying, like, she didn't owe an explanation to no one. She come on that podcast airing out all of the different things, all of the alumni coming up against her, right? She ain't had to say that to nobody. She talking about herself. She talking about what she really meant when she was saying that she was hooking up and explaining that. And the only thing, and as a lawyer, essentially the more that you try to defend yourself in a case like this, you're not going to do it well. You only giving the people more ammo to basically tear you down with.
Yeah. No, she definitely, I've been meaning to write about this all year and I haven't done it, but I started writing the script one time and I just put it down. I was over it. But the reality Tv-ification of like media and content is very real. And I think you see that most in like the Joe Budden universe, the Flagrant universe, Brilliant Idiots, like Math Waffle, all these different people. Like the content isn't just them talking about the thing. The content is them, like the dynamics between them. Like they play into these worlds or whatever.
On camera and off camera.
Exactly. And it creates like so many different like issues and nuanced like things, and it really has become the common, like the main, and that's something I just be like, I can't bring myself to engage. I'm like, but that's what people do. Like they go on like how I say, you would never catch me on Olay in France talking about the drama of behind my wall, who I think about the other people on the show and think. I'm not doing that, but that is what they do in these other shows.
And also there's a very odd existence that we have in this career because we are performing self, right?
Yeah.
So like, even though we are existing very much how we are, like I do carry on like this for the most part. This is a very one-dimensional aspect of me because I could turn this camera off, I could turn it on. But what is done outside of it also, yet again, when I'm not foreign, when I am existing in my own capacity, that still does affect very much like foreign and how people receive me. And that's something that not everybody else is subject to. Like, if an actor were to be playing a role and then you see him doing something else, that's not necessarily something that you can. In fact, that's something that you big him up for. That just shows his range. That just shows the duality of and the nuances of this person, that he could play this character as well as this character. But for us, because we're performing self, that's a ding to our credibility if they see these different contradictions. So when you have a situation where Jasleen is advocating for herself or showing the nuances of herself that contradict what facade Akash has brought there, that ends up being a liability. Right. And then in a dystopian way, you have Andrew turning that liability into content. And I think that it all goes back really, you know, I do want to hold autonomy and hold lashings for
white man
how
get paid off for all of that.
All of them have to get that right. All of them have to hold something. Akash got to hold something. Jasleen got to hold something. But Andrew, there's something very principally wrong that sits with me after seeing Andrew laugh about black women, make jokes about his wife being pregnant, flirt and get cozy up with MAGA and them, right? And all while, I know you ain't gonna like this, but all the while Charlemagne and thing laundering him. But anyway.
Why you think I know you like this? Like I named Charlemagne and Law.
Anyway, all of that. Andrew has shown himself his only allegiance to be opportunity. If there's opportunity to make a joke about anyone or to get proximity to anything that benefits his reach, he will jump on that. And he makes it seem as though him and Akash and all them fellas sitting on the couch
in on it.
But Akash, the only one, if you watch the video, Akash, the only one that dressed in white, everybody else dressed in black.
In matching outfits. A guy like in on the bit and Akash over here.
Everybody crying.
But this is the thing that I want to understand, right? Like, here's the thing. That's another thing too. I don't really know why everybody's shocked to find out like a man who like chooses to be like a side character or, you know, be Mike to this, you know what I mean? Like to go along with Andrew Schultz's bullshit in general. Like it's a shocker. Like he'd be going along with other bullshit. But anyhow, what I will say is what I don't understand is the discussions that are being had or not being had. Because at the end of the day, even if like, let's say like your wife is a complete contradiction and your actual dynamic is a complete contradiction from what you're doing on the internet. Why don't y'all why is your wife on the internet? Like, is what I'm saying. It's like, why? I don't know about you. Your wife is a normie. My husband is a normie.
Exactly.
Like.
Exactly.
I feel like those are conversations that need to be had. Like me and CJ had a conversation a million years ago. That was like, listen, the two of us can't be mentally ill on the internet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, that ain't gonna work for stability. I can't be. I need somebody who can tell me that don't matter. If you upset too, Crash, you know, you in your comments all the time, you know what I mean? What that can do for me? Like, oh, we'll never accomplish anything. We can go crazy in the house. We can't parent children. Acting like that. The two of us, so I'm like, why haven't they had that conversation? Like, to me, it's just like, keep your wife on the internet. If this is so essential to your brand, you know what I mean? You're this big, it's this kind of whatever. Like, keep your wife off the internet. You know what I mean? You hear me, mate? But
as they exist in that world, like, it's not necessarily like what we believe in, but it's what makes sense for their world. Like, that is what they subscribe into. Like, they subscribe to this traditional paradigm. So they need, like, he can very well be saying, yeah, baby, I'm making this money and I make money off of this facade that you ain't never been touched by another man, and I was the first, and I this funny Indian dude that is be cozy up to this, you know, mustache twirling villain, right?
Yeah,
that is a conversation that he can very well have, but ultimately, I think it's either a multitude of different varying degrees of narcissism on her own part, thinking that, okay, she the hottest thing in skin and she could get up on the internet and talk about reminiscing over, being with a gaggle white man. Well, I don't know what you call him, meeting a white man, a clan rally or something. And then like thinking that would have no repercussions because, yet again, she's not considering the rest of the power. She's not considering the structure of what she's building, But everybody in this setting, like in this milieu right here, are victims and prisoners of their own design.
Yeah.
They created a platform, Schultz has created basically a thing where he's voracious for content. So he's going to constantly be finding people that he will turn on. And therefore, he also makes himself vulnerable to whatever end up happening to him. And I can't wait for that to happen to him. In fact, he's already gotten accusations for abuse and everything from his ex. But that's a whole other thing. Akash too. Akash's whole platform is proximity to being the Robin to whatever Batman that he could find next to. And that ends up being a case where he will get pilloried and he'll get raggy online when it's time. If there's a slow news day, okay, we can make fun of Akash.
And I'm okay making fun of the one thing, but I see all the people like, oh, if you see them in the comments on the flagrant thing, they're like, oh, they're done. They're done. I don't know if they can come back. But I'm like, done for what? Your my wife is running him? I'm like the internet thing is like, when I take a step back sometimes, it's how I feel with the Ned Fumble thing. I'm like, cheat on their wife every day. Cheat every day. And a bunch of content creators and your fans and celebrities cheat every... I was saying this to CJ that day. You know what I noticed? Listen, this is what I have peeped. You can get very big doing trivial shit that people love. You know what I mean? That they enjoy, like things that don't matter. But if you do something that people don't consider consequential, the bar for what you could get away with is so motherfucking low. Like the fact, like, it's like they could love Ned Fumble. Like, think about it. Ned Fumble was successful in a way that none of us have achieved. Right? Like we wasn't as big as what this was, you know what I mean? As a part of the Try Guys, right? But the motherfucking second, I'm like, I don't care what you say. I wasn't getting canceled off cheating. You wasn't getting canceled off. Like, it wouldn't be like, we can't to make nothing, but you ain't convincing me I'll never work again. Like, that's how you know the shit that these what? Being made an ass out of by a woman? Have you on the chopping block? You know, I can tell you about all the times they had me for Poppy Show. And I'd have never, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's when you ain't, I'm like, boy, y'all ain't talented. I'd have turned this into, this would have been a Laurinati production addressing deep. What are you talking about?
It's also that, like, you have to accept your cancellation.
Yeah.
You have to accept and give voice to the voiceless because, again, like we was talking about this off camera, like responding to any large unfounded criticism of you the only person that could give that life.
Exactly.
You give them platform. Like in themselves, if you don't reply to them, there's no real estate for them to build anything on. But if you do, then that cycle continues. Have that.
That's a whole nother that's all they hoping for. I don't know. And again, this is the problem with when like, to me, I don't know what's happening in the room. I don't know who it made with decisions. I don't have the air over there at flagrant. I don't know. I could only speculate. But it's so crazy to think that like could make a decision. Like, obviously, like, okay, this one episode will do well. You'll get a bunch of money from this one episode. Like, you know what I mean? But the long-term fallout for Akash by you acknowledging it, like, it's like, damn, what is the dynamic here that Akash is not able to step in and stop deciding this one episode is worth what this will cost? Because it's like, at the end of the day, let these internet run on. But why you feeding into answering her, engaging, it's like, you fucking pump that into their veins. I mean, I know was writing their video essays as they was watching. Because you engaging. You've given them power because what they was doing like effectively in that is engaging every single internet perception about us. Like, okay, these clips people think about that, so now address all those things. And that's in and of itself, you've given you created so much power for them. And like just made a whole, I was looking like, dog. And I just can't help but feel bad for and then I had to see the top comments like, all right, he's talking about a black woman. Thank you for reminding me.
I eat it up because I mean ultimately it's something that they can end up falling for. And, you know, what Malcolm X said, the chicken's coming home to roost. That's how I see it. That's how I see it.
I'm like, but Lord, I'm like, damn, dread. Like, this is like, people have to keep, I don't understand why people who are bigger creators haven't come around to like not being overly visible on the social media timeline. Like, this is something I've been thinking about recently, because like I even like my own friends that are like commensurate in size, that I feel like, why are you still around with these? You didn't figure it out yet. Like, I feel like it finally settled in, like, do not respond or engage this shit. And I don't understand why people haven't figured out yet. Like, I think there's social media. I don't care what nobody says. I really don't think social media visibility on the timeline is lucrative like financially. It isn't at all. Yeah. But in the way, even in clout or platform building that people think it do. In fact, I actually think you get less engagement and less views on your real content when have watched you run on all day on their social media timeline. They don't feel like they have to go, I already know what you're running on with, you know what I mean? It's too much. And so I just don't understand why, like, somebody like Akash, as big as y'all are, Flagrant is big, like huge. Why are you and your wife talking about why are you volunteering anything about your relationship? Like, you ain't gonna see me. Listen, one thing about me, you hear me talk about my real life, you're getting it out. Like,
wait, I forget I got this thing at 12, man.
Oh yeah, go. Oh
God,
well, now I get in the episode. Ended appropriately.
All right. Ultimately, you know what I mean? Akash, for different reasons, you got the progressive on the Redpill man them basically eating like ravens off your entrails. At this point, you need to go and flick and do one serious pivot talk about you returning to traditionalism, get you and your gal together and figure out something, because other than that, your gal must have got to do a spin-off and that gotta make that shake. But ultimately, yeah. This has been, yet again, us Olay and chilling. That's my side.
I'm so laying and chilling. That's what I'm going to start saying.
Stop what you're doing and listen up. You just watched a video on one of my channels, but the Illuminati-verse is huge, and I want to tell you what everything is and how to find it. The Illuminati-verse has 6 channels. On the YouTube homepage of any one of those channels, every single channel in the Illuminati-verse is featured at the bottom of the page, so you can always easily find them, okay? Remember I said that. Don't say I ain't tell you how to find it. Subscribe to my main channel, Illuminati, to find my Illuminati productions, which are my long-form video essays and also all of my backlog of content. Subscribe to my second love child, Illuminati Pop, for my weekly video essays analyzing my favorite TV and movie shows and characters. Illuminati Pop also has its own Patreon where you get all of those videos uncensored. Subscribe to my channel, Olay and Friends, for my podcast, Olay and Friends. New episodes of Olay and Friends come out every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Subscribe to Olay and Chill for new episodes of my podcast, Olay and Chill, every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And also, both Olay and Friends and Olay and Chill are both available on streaming platforms like Spotify. Subscribe to Illuminati Bites if you want my takes but you don't have an hour to spend. Subscribe to Illuminati Politics for my political analysis and my State of the Union type addresses on my show O Squared. And last but not least, subscribe to my Substack Illuminati for my written work.